Many people are upset at a picture Melania Trump posted on Twitter, and I want you to see the picture because in the picture, you see the Trumps, Melania and the president smiling. Trump has his thumbs up, and Melania is actually holding the baby whose parents were shot and killed by the El Paso Walmart shooter this past weekend. So it's a happy photo for such an unhappy experience.
Yeah.
And so people are upset about it, calling it inappropriate. Also, the president did not meet any of the 8 survivors still recovering in the hospital. We learned 3 were unable because they were in too poor a condition or don't speak English, and that's according to the hospital. 5 declined the offer. What we also learned is a hospital spokesperson told BuzzFeed News that baby in that photo was actually brought back to the hospital specifically for that Trump visit and photo op. Doctors there also told reporters Trump showed what they called a complete lack of empathy, and that he spent a lot of time talking about Beto O'Rourke. Take a look.
The job you've done, and they're talking about it all over the world, and it's an honor to be with you. Look at this group of people. Can you believe this? Good looking people.
They're fantastic.
I was here 3 months ago. We made a speech, and we had what was the name of the arena? That place was packed, right?
I was front row.
Right? The judges have respected
I was front row.
What was the name?
I was front row there.
Oh, good. Come here, man. That was some crowd.
Thank you for
And we
all
had
you
twice
do.
the number
Thank you.
outside. And then you had this crazy Beto. Beto had like 400 people in a parking lot. They said his crowd was wonderful.
Look at me.
But we had some.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa, oh wow, look at that. Look at that, Judge. You see that?
I was encouraging her.
Don't tell it to the press because they won't even believe it. They only believe it on voting on the day of the vote. They say, what happened?
Okay, so here's the thing. We don't know why the 5 people in the hospital declined to see the president. It could just be because they were recovering from gunshot wounds. So I get that, but there were a lot of people, including politicians, a lot of people living in El Paso who did not want Trump to visit their city after this tragedy. And we caught up with one family, very open and clear about wanting to explain why.
I wish he wouldn't have needed to come. I think he just came to do a circus. He was the one who brewed up all this hatred against Mexicans. I guess he forgot what he said about El Pasoans, but he still came over here and do his circus because he wanted, what, votes? We didn't need them.
And I have more video I can show you in a bit, but I wanna, I can tell you.
So first of all, on the visit, I don't have the standard position on this. I think as the president, you should go down there.
Yeah.
And yeah, he stirred up the hatred. That's definitely true. But look, going down there could be part of the healing. And it's also not his fault that the people didn't want to see him. So it is what it is. If I was shot because he stirred up the hatred, I wouldn't want to see him either. But you can't put that on him because it's not like he didn't want to see them. They didn't want to see him. Okay, so those are the things to be fair to Donald Trump. Now, let's go to the photo op situation. So the baby is not in the hospital. They bring him back for a photo op. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. No question, okay? So I'm gonna tell you the story about the baby and I'm gonna try not to tear up. And I wanna tell you guys, again, to be fair to Trump, that the uncle that is standing next to him is a Trump supporter. The baby's deceased father was a Trump supporter, okay? So it's not partisan in that sense. The baby's got broken fingers because his mom, his mom fell on him to protect him and while she was dying. And the dad took bullets for the mom falling on her, trying to make sure that they weren't shot. And they're both killed protecting that baby. And the guy who killed them said it was because it was a Hispanic invasion and he wanted to go kill Latinos. Now, there's another guy who talks about Hispanic invasions all the time. His name is Donald Trump. So I'm not gonna get into a debate with idiot right-wingers of like, oh no, it's just a coincidence. I don't care what you think, honestly. It's obviously not a coincidence. So, okay, all that is we know, and he said, his staff said, oh, we didn't allow reporters into the hospital because we didn't want a photo op. Well, then why'd you bring the baby back and take a picture with the baby? That's literally a photo op. And then why did you put a campaign ad out with a video of you visiting the hospitals? That's a photo op. And then apparently he yelled at his own staff saying, why didn't you let the reporters in? This looks great for me. He's such a monster. But finally, to get to the most critical part of this, what kind of a sociopath puts a thumbs up and smiles with a picture of a baby who lost both their parents, both his parents and they died protecting him because of a guy who was. But you know what? Look, guys, give Trump every benefit of the doubt. Assume he doesn't know how the parents died. He knows it's obviously in the shooting, but doesn't know the details. Assume that, hey, again, like I said, that some of the relatives are Trump supporters, etc. Why are you putting your thumbs up? Why are you smiling? What kind of a sociopath does that? Even if you gave him the benefit of the doubt and said he didn't have anything to do with the shooting, if somebody says to me, here's a baby, his parents just died, the very last thing I do is this, okay? And I hope none of you would do that, because you're a normal person. And even no matter what your political opinions are, and no matter whether you were related to the shooting, not related to cause that didn't cause it, put all that aside, although you shouldn't. It's 1,000 times worse that he had some culpability in the shooting, and then, oh, your parents are dead. Right? Hey, I got a good photo op out of this. Did I gain politically? And that's why the video that Brooke showed you is so important. Oh, Beto's crowd was small, my crowd was big. God damn it, it's not supposed to be about you. He can't be president for a second. And you know that if you were, I can't imagine, even if you're MAGA, etc., somebody gives you a baby and says his parents died, that you're beaming and like, yes, this is good for me, you do this. No, you know who does that? A sociopath. A sociopath does that because he cannot, I think he physically, literally cannot empathize with other human beings. He just does not have the ability to understand the context or care. And so he does this. And you can say, hey, it's too much about one picture, but I've seen him do it 1,000 times, 1,000 times. Cannot relate to the other person at all. And also just too unintelligent to understand the context of where he is. Any person that is above a moron grade would think, hey, this is not the time to be beaming. I'm supposed to be showing empathy to the people who are hurt in the hospital. My God, this baby, my God, this baby. How does it not break your heart? How does it not break your heart? If you don't have one in the first place, that's how it doesn't break it. But even so, a Richard Nixon type of person would have at least known to do the optics of mourning, optics of empathy, but he's too stupid to know that too. So I have to keep my own sanity. I have to assume that Trump supporters don't know any of these details. Because if I think you know it and you still support him, it's too depressing a sign for humanity.
I think the other piece too is that we underestimate Trump's narcissistic personality disorder. The first thing that I noticed from the photo that was posted was the step and repeat in the backdrop.
Oh yeah.
That was the most wildly inappropriate thing. And I think it speaks to Trump's idea that this is just an extension of his reality show. The United States government, his presidency, his appearances, it is all to boost ratings for himself, not only as a president, but from what he understands is still a competent businessman. And so I think the thing that broke my heart the most was the fact that he smiled and he held the thumbs up, and the fact that that baby is there because of Trump's protection of the NRA and the administration's refusal to make decisions that are in the best interest of the American people. I think more than anything, it couldn't have gotten worse. The thing that would have probably made it worse is if they would have brought in the shooter to jump in the photo op. Like, there was no reason to do that. But I think Trump, he just reminds me of this used car salesman. He, like, even when he speaks, I don't know if anyone noticed, even when he went to El Paso the first time and then he went to, he was mentioned in Dayton, and he talks about these tragedies as if he's given a Yelp review. Like, yeah, the first responders, good people, I liked it, good turnout, great people, I liked it. He
I didn't think I could laugh about this, but Ashlee Marie, you did it. The Yelp review.
It's a Yelp review.
Yeah, it's a perfect description.
Fine folks, good people. I was satisfied. They threw in the bread basket for free. Like, he's out of his mind.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.